Chris, let's go viral. Start your segment off. Jersey swaps are all the rage in the NFL, but what happens when jersey swaps happen in everyday life? Check out this tweet. Partied with this guy all night in Vegas. He left. He asked my boy for the jersey swap.
That's great. Now that's elite social media. That is, now I will say this. Our guy, Stephen Hubbard, one of our star producers
Love
of
the
the
guy.
show.
Yes.
He, I think, came up with this idea 6 months ago. Talked about it in a meeting,
The idea
and we all dismissed him. He said he thinks that when you go out drinking,
Yeah.
if you're, meet someone out, you don't know them before, but you end up drinking, watching a game with them, then afterwards you switch, do a jersey swap, a drinking jersey swap, and we all dismissed him. And now this guy puts it on social media, and he's gone viral because of it.
So what you're saying is if you get an impromptu wingman, that's the route you should go at the end of the night.
That's what this guy did. I liked it. I think it's a funny idea. I feel like the
I don't know if the guy on the left can fit the shirt from the guy on the right.
I feel like there's some issues. And also, the guy on the right now has to wear a leopard shirt. That's not ideal. There's some things there that maybe we could parse a bit, but I like it. I like the idea.
Plus, I feel like it only works with guys.
Yeah.
Time for stories to start here from Marty.
I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a jersey swap of the opposite gender. Just saying.
Last night, Zion dropped a career-high 31 points in just 28 minutes of action. Pelicans blew out the Blazers 138-117, which had us wondering, Nick, has Zion already exceeded expectations?
Not mine, but I think he's exceeded most people's. Listen, he's going. I said 10 games into his career at Duke, he will walk into the NBA a 20-point-a-game guy without improving at all a 20-point-a-game guy because athleticism, strength, leaping ability translates across all levels. I've been watching Zion Williamson highlights since he was 16 years old playing high school basketball in South Carolina. They all look the same at every level. It's like, well, I'm stronger than you. I can jump higher than you. The rim's still 10 feet. He has been sensational. For a Pelicans team that was winning 40% of its games without him, now has a winning record with him. It's been awesome to see, Canty.
No, you said it. Coming into the league, you thought that he was going to average over 20 points a game his rookie year because you thought 10 points a game in transition and putbacks. It seems like it's a little bit more than that, but now eclipsed the 30-point mark, the fourth fastest #1 overall pick to do it. The top two names on that list, Allen Iverson and Shaquille O'Neal, so Zion is in good company, but, I mean, he is off to a tear, averaging 21 points a game. The kid is special. We knew that he had a chance to be a transcendent talent, but I don't think we knew how special Zion could actually be.
He's had one bad game so far. One.
Moving on to the Clippers now. They
two
lost
bad games this week.
to the Sixers in Philadelphia last night. Kawhi scored 30 points, dished out 9 dimes, but it was not enough. Clippers are now 4 games behind the Lakers for first place in the West. Nick, what did you take away from this game?
I'll keep sounding this alarm until other people jump on with it. They do not have a rim protector. And against this year's a little odd. Aside from the Rockets, all the best teams in the league have a dominant big man that can punish you. The Sixers have the ability to be one of the best teams in the league. They beat them 58-38 points in the paint. If they were to get to the finals, Giannis is waiting for them. To get to the finals, you're going to have to go through Anthony Davis and LeBron. This is the major concern for the Clippers. The minor concern is Paul George has been bad for a few weeks now. Paul George's got to get it back together, look like all-NBA level Paul George again. But even if he does, who protects the rim for the Clippers? That's my concern for them.
I'm not as concerned about the Clippers as you are, just because I know the Clippers aren't prioritizing the regular season. We've seen what they've done with Kawhi and the load management. They're going to be careful with their 2 superstars. I want to look at this from the Sixers angle. I thought last night they found a little something with their formula and how they can be successful. Ben Simmons going downhill, attacking the defense, even when they're laying off, pressing the issue, eating up space, creating a lot of open looks for those guys, perimeter shooters, and then also creating opportunities for Joel Embiid. Both of those guys going over 25 points last night. It's the 6th time it's happened for the Sixers since they've been there. The Sixers are 6-0 when it happens.
And then Brett Brown moved Horford to the bench to maybe give Simmons a little more space, to your point.
All right, moving on to the NFL now. Panthers team owner David Tepper was recently asked about Cam Newton's future with the team. He said, quote, "Is he healthy? Tell me that, and then we can talk." Little non-committal, if you ask me, but you're not. Canty, do you think we will see Cam play for the Panthers again?
No, because the new owner is non-committal. You just said it, Jenna. I mean, David Tepper has not come out and said that Cam Newton will be his quarterback in 2020. I think when you couple that with the fact that the organization is moving away from stalwarts, fired Ron Rivera, moved on from Greg Olson, Luke Kuechly retired, it just feels like it's a time of transition for that franchise. And I feel like the next domino to fall will be Cam Newton. Keep in mind, it's a very tradable contract, one-year deal. It's $19 million in salary.
Super tradable.
So I think that's a bargain for a team that's looking for some quarterback help. So I just don't see Cam Newton being in Carolina for 2020.
Cam shouldn't abide this disrespect any longer, honestly. Like, listen, you guys aren't sold on me. I'm not sold on you anymore. Cam should go to his representation and say, I'd like to be moved, because enough's enough. You have no other option. He is arguably the best player in the history of your franchise, brought you to your only Super Bowl, delivered you a league MVP in a 15-1 season. He's been hurt, and you don't want to see what he will look like under the new head coach. No problem. I'm sure the Chargers would love to have him. I would, if I were the Bears, I would love to have him. The Patriots, if Brady moves on, are an interesting fit, and I think you could get real draft compensation back because it's such a good quarterback contract. $19 million. That's cheaper than Joe Flacco, cheaper than Nick Foles. So, yeah, I think Cam, the best move for the Panthers is to keep Cam. They don't seem to want to. If I'm Cam, I don't want to be there anymore.
All right, on to the gift that keeps on giving. Tom Brady's indecision over where he'll take his talents next season. We know he wants to remain a starter till the age of 45. This past season, at age 42, Brady posted his fewest passing yards in a full season since back in 2010. However, one Hall of Fame quarterback still believes Brady is at the top of his game. Take a listen to Brett Favre.
I hear lots of people, so-called experts, say that his age is catching up with him. I didn't see that. I saw a quarterback still able to do what he normally does, but the cast around him was not up to par. So I think his game is as good as it's ever been. His cast is, I don't want to say is not as good. I just think is inexperienced.
What do you think, Chris? You agree with what Brett Favre had to say about Tom Brady?
No, I don't necessarily agree with everything he said. I don't think that this is the same Tom Brady from 10 years ago. It's certainly not the same quarterback that I played against in Super Bowl 46. This is a different dude, and that's why I think there's so much variance in terms of...
He's playing a lot like he played in Super Bowl 46, but it's over the whole year, and it's not against a dominant Giants defense week in, week out. Sorry.
Why you got to take it there, man? But you see so much variance in terms of the opinions with Tom Brady. People want to put it on the supporting cast. People want to put it on him being over the hill, playing over 40 years old. I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. So, yeah, I don't think that we can assign the elite tag to Tom Brady anymore, even though I still think he's a very capable quarterback. So, yeah, I have to disagree with what Brett Favre said. This is not the same old Tom Brady, because if it was, we wouldn't be talking about him potentially leaving New England because he's an impending free agent. This deal would have already gotten done. The Patriots don't allow it to get to this point with him.
What's the last time we saw Brett Favre on television? It was wearing one of those really cool, sharp maroon or burgundy jackets.
That's right.
With the NFL 100,
yep.
Along with Tom
Super
Brady.
Bowl.
I'm sure he's got some affinity for him. I'm sure that they, those guys talked, and Favre, a guy who was doubted late in his career, and then had one hell of a year. That year in Minnesota, I know it ended on a Brett Favre interception, essentially, but he was excellent that year. Almost won a league MVP that year. Almost took that Vikings team to a Super Bowl. So I think he wants to believe Brady can do that as well. The thing is, Brady already had that year for him. That was a couple years ago when he won league MVP, or the year after that, I guess 3 years ago when he won league MVP, or 2 years ago when he won a Super Bowl, even though he was on the downtick. But I'll be less diplomatic than Canty. Favre's out of his mind. Favre, he is the worst version we have seen of him since his first couple years in the league. Can we show the graph? I love this graph because it's just, to me, unimpeachable. That is completion percentage, passing yards, yards per pass, and passer rating. Everything that matters for a quarterback. And that's 16, 17, 18, 19. You buy in that stock? You think that stock's all of a sudden about to rebound? And the scale, the y-axis, if you will, is ranking in the league. So it's down in the 20s for most of the categories. Passing yards per game is the only one where he's even league average anymore. And I don't want to have total recency bias, but do people not remember the playoff game at home as a favorite over the Titans? Because here's the second half of that game. 6 and punt, 6 and punt, 4 and punt in a game you're trailing, 4th and 3 at the 47-yard line. Coach doesn't trust you. 4 and punt, 4th and 4 at the 37-yard line with 3:10 left. Coach doesn't trust you, and then a pick 6 to end your season. Man, that ain't Tom Brady. It's disrespectful to Tom Brady to say he's the same Tom Brady. We know he's not. So, no, Favre is either crazy or he's being kind to his guy, or maybe a combination of the two.
You don't think Tom Brady, quickly before we move on, should be given the benefit of the doubt that he still has enough in the tank, given if he had the right weapons, the right team, the right quote-unquote help around him, he could get back to maybe not 10 years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago?
Well, Jenna, I think the teams around the NFL that are going to be interested in him this offseason are giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
We've already heard it, whether it's the Chargers, the Raiders, speculation in Dallas, although I think that's far-fetched. But, I mean, the fact that so many teams are interested in a quarterback that'll be 43 years old, I think everybody is willing to overlook what happened this past year and see if Tom Brady still has a little bit of magic left. He's talked about playing until he's 45 years old, so I think teams are going to take him at his word and give him an opportunity. The only thing that I would say about this saga and how it's going to play out is that I know that the New England Patriots are not going to set the market for Tom Brady, and so he'll have a higher offer somewhere else. The question is, would he be willing to go to that other place? I'm saying that that's probably doubtful, but I think teams are willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Jenna, I'd be willing to give him more benefit of the doubt if this was a one-year blip. We saw this coming in 2018.